I feel insane. I feel like the dumbest person in the world reviewing this movie because everywhere I look, I see critics and horror content creators I love going on about how amazing this film is and how good the script is and the writing and how good of a story it is. And I have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Um, this film is a puzzle that obviously I just could not solve. It went over my head, I guess. I want to be extremely clear too. I love that this film exists. Like, this is a crazy film. I love that it exists. And this is not me admonishing the people who love this film. But I cannot for the life of me work out the critical acclaim that this movie is getting. After watching this in the cinemas, there's about 5 people that I could recommend this film to that I think might enjoy it. Like, it is extreme cinema. And after I saw it, I was like, oh, this movie is going to be polarizing as hell. Like, people are going to fucking either hate this film or love this film. But everyone seems to love it. Like, from what I've been able to tell online, everyone loves it. And maybe I'm in the wrong. Like, Cannes loved it. They gave it like the screenplay award. So maybe I'm a big fucking idiot. I don't know. But you are here for my honest opinion. So regardless of how silly I might look, I'm going to try talk to you about the batshit insanity that is Coralie Fargeat's The Substance. If you do just want to listen to what I didn't like about the movie, like if you've seen it and you're like, I don't need all the intro shit, I've put chapters in the bottom so you can just pretty much scroll straight to what I didn't like if you would like to do that. I know some people do like doing that. Go for it. But Jesus Christ. Now, straight up, this is a full-on movie. It's really crazy body horror and sections of unbroken softcore pornography. So if you are going to see this, know that going in. I worry that people are going to see the reviews and see that Demi Moore's in it and just go see it on first dates or with their parents or something like that. And I feel like that would be a really uncomfortable time for like fucking 98% of the population. I went with one of my best friends who is a woman and she's certainly not a prude. In fact, the reason we went and saw this movie is because we loved Coralie Fargeat's other movie, Revenge, so much. Like, we watched it together and fucking loved it. But there was a stage in this movie where she turned to me and she went, I think I've seen enough labia and ass now. And it's a completely fair comment. If you've seen this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. This movie is raunchy as all fuck. The Substance follows aging aerobic goddess and apparently Oscar winner Elizabeth Sparkle, played by Demi Moore, as she's told by network TV sleazeballs that her reign as TV queen has come to an end because she committed the ultimate sin in Hollywood. She aged. She wallows for a bit, struggling to come to grips with her new life as an insanely attractive but still old woman. And she is offered a black market drug called The Substance, which basically allows her to undergo binary fission and basically spawn a young, hot version of herself, played brilliantly by Margaret Qualley, so that she can continue her reign. The catch being, only one of them can be awake at any one time, and every 7 days they have to switch. In true horror movie fashion, no one listens to the fucking rules and chaos ensues. Now, this movie does have a lot of strengths. I'll talk about strengths first. It looks magnificent. The color palette and the set design of this movie they're so strong. Every hallway, every apartment, every bathroom is just a joy to look at. And all the medical paraphernalia and drugs look fucking evil. Like, they look diabolical. You look at them and you're like, whew. The shade of green that they used for the activator, it was like eyeball heroin. Like, it was so pleasant on my eyeballs to look at. This movie just has an insanely cool aesthetic. I absolutely love the design of, like, there are these instruction cards on how to use the substance, and there's like an instructional video that Elizabeth gets, and I was obsessed with it. It's so well done. It looks almost like a German industrial techno music video. It's fucking brilliant. And the cinematography is like Kubrick levels of wonderful. Demi Moore, absolute star in this film. This whole movie is a slow descent into hell, and she definitely takes you on that trip. She's manic, she's desperate, she's depressed. You get all of that. There is a scene where she is getting ready for a dinner date, and it's my favorite scene of the movie. It's fucking heartbreaking. It's so well acted. She's fucking great in this. She is the star of this. Dennis Quaid is also, he plays one of the most disgusting sleazeballs ever. He's a TV exec called Harvey, which is a little on the nose, but I liked. He's got a cartoony lack of self-awareness. There's a scene where he's eating prawns, and it made me physically fucking ill. Like, it was probably the most disgusting thing in this movie is watching him eat prawns. It's yuck. The body horror is also some of the best I've ever seen, ever. There's a little bit of The Fly, there's a little bit of The Thing, a little bit of Basket Case. It stands toe-to-toe with all those. Brain Dead. Like, stands toe-to-toe with all of them. It's really good. It's fucking disgusting, especially the last 30 minutes of the film. If you're a body horror fan, you'll find a lot to love in this film. The main problem I have with this movie, though, is that it has a very clear message, right? The world, especially men, only seem to value women who are young and hot, which leads to older women usually having low self-worth and going to great lengths to retain their youth. Like, that is the message of this film. And I agree, it's a fucking great message. That's shit. That is shit. It's awful how women over 50, 40 even, are treated, especially in entertainment and especially on social media. Now, I can't tell you, one of the things I fucking hate most about Instagram is when, some really attractive fitness model or whatever posts a photo and you've got these absolute fucking cave troll looking men in the comments being like, oh, fucking mid, or yeah, do something else with your life, or it's like, shut the fuck, like, death sentence for those men. Fucking death sentence. Honestly, I fucking hate that. That's one of the things I hate most about social media, where these fucking just disgusting, decrepit men commenting on the bodies of women blows my mind. Anyway, like, I hate that. But I can't help but feel like this movie lays the blame of that at Demi Moore's character's feet. Right? Like, it's almost like the director's saying, it's disgusting how little we value older women. And then spends 2.5 hours making Demi Moore's character out to be like a fucking idiot for being a victim of this system. And, like, I think it's going for satire, right? Like, I think it's trying to be a bit of satire. There are some funny moments, but there's no redemption or improvement or even revenge for any character in this film. There's no real character development in any way, really. You're not watching like a story arc. You're just sort of watching people do things. Like, it's like if I go to a party where no one knows me, right? And I decide before that party, I'm going to ironically act like Andrew Tate because I fucking hate him. Because I do. I fucking hate that man. At some point in the party, people are just going to think that I am like Andrew Tate because that is how I am acting. I am not saying anything about him. I am not condemning his actions. I'm doing what he does. So people are like, yeah, you're a fucking dick. Not knowing that I'm doing it ironically or in satire. That's sort of what this film's doing, right? Like, it's got a very blunt message about the male gaze and the creepiness of the entertainment industry and for women. But then right after, it's like, now, come with me. Let's look at the body of this young, delicious woman for 5 minutes. Like, it becomes the very thing it's setting out to demonize. And it also drifts into hagsploitation a lot. This movie is about how sad it is that women of a certain age are just sort of pushed to the outer and forgotten or looked on with disgust or even indifference. And then it goes, that is really bad and that sucks. But look how fucking gross this old woman is. Like, look at her. Isn't she disgusting? And it just confused me. Like, I'm so confused about how they actually feel about the treatment of women. Like, I sort of know what it is, but like, they don't say anything about it and they do it themselves. It confused me. And like I said, I love Coralie Fargeat's movies. Revenge is one of my favorite films. If you go look at any of the top 10 lists I've done on this channel, you will find Revenge all the way through them. I loved it. Part of the reason I loved Revenge is because it's so satisfying to watch, right? The main character, Jen, is a fucking badass of a character. She's smart, she's capable, She outthinks and outplays a group of absolute scumbags who think they're alphas, and it's just great to watch. But in this movie, I feel like the joke's on Elizabeth. We're laughing at her while she is in this awful situation, and when she makes bad decision after bad decision, I feel like they want us to go, yeah, that's what you fucking get for doing that, you know, like, and that just bums me out. Like, it sort of bummed me out. I felt for her. And also, the plot gets muddled a bit, leading to some fairly big plot holes that I couldn't reconcile. They set up very specific rules about the doubles and how their biology and their consciousness works, but some of the character actions are in direct opposition to that. Like, to the point where I was left questioning, what benefit at all does Elizabeth have from taking the substance? Like, why wouldn't she just stop using it? Because also, that's something you can do. They say that. You can just stop at any time. There seems to be no negatives to just stopping using it. You're completely allowed to do that. It's sort of like, let's say I did meth, and every time I did meth, someone else got high, and I didn't, but also, I was the one that lost my teeth. You just stop doing meth. Like, no one would do meth if that's what happened, right? That's sort of how I feel in this movie. Like, why the fuck would you do it? It doesn't make any sense. There's no real payoff for you. It confused me a lot. I can only really recommend this film if you absolutely love body horror and absolutely love Demi Moore. I guess if you love watching horror as like an endurance test, I imagine there's a lot of walkouts and faints that are happening in this film. This is one of the few films where I believe it, where they're like, oh, so many people fainted at the screen. I could see that in this film. This is a tough watch. But 2.5 hour investment for anyone who is not a fan of the craziest of crazy horrors is fucking way too long, and I don't think worth it. I recommend watching this movie if you love body horror. If you fucking love body horror, The Fly, Basket Case, Tusk, you'll probably like this. It's got really, really strong body horror. If you love sci-fi horrors such as Infinity Pool or Possessor, any Cronenbergs, like sci-fi Cronenbergs, this is up that alley. If you love like the old pervy music videos from the early 2000s, Benny Benassi, Alex Galdino, like that sort of shit, that's the vibe parts of this movie give off. I don't recommend watching this at all if you are triggered by body issues or have body dysmorphia. This could be a tough watch because it doesn't really say much about it except that it's bad, and I think this could be quite triggering. If you're looking for something to watch with your grandparents, stay the fuck away from this one. A good litmus test for whether you should watch this film with someone is, would I be comfortable sitting down with this person and watching the entire music video for Call on Me by Eric Prydz? If you are not comfortable doing that with that person, do not see the film with them, because it is way more full on than that, but it's really pervy at parts. If you hate plot holes in horror films, this is fucking riddled with them. Me and my friend just had question after question after question that neither of us could answer. We could have just missed it or, not got it, but I felt like there was a fucking heap of plot holes that are not being talked about really anywhere that I can find. Please let me know what you think of this movie. This movie is so interesting to me because of how different my time with it seems to be from anyone else's, right? Apart from obviously my friend. Like, I'm fucking baffled. Never have I spent so long checking IMDb reviews and shit for this. I usually don't check any reviews for films. This one, I was like, I have to see what other people are saying. So if you loved it, fucking tell me, because why did you love it? I'm stunned. If you do like this movie and are looking for something in a similar vein, I don't think anything's in a similar vein to this movie, to be honest, but check out 2021's Malignant by James Wan. It's about a woman who is plagued by visions of people's murders, so she decides she's going to start solving them. While it's not as hardcore as The Substance, it hits all the same body horror beats, and it also has a fucking batshit conclusion like this one. that I enjoyed more than this one, to be honest. I liked, I didn't mind Malignant. Death Becomes Her is also another one that almost has the exact premise. Two women who are actors take a potion of youth to try and keep their beauty and seduce a guy. It's a horror. It's far funnier than this. It's more a black comedy, and it's not as hardcore as a body horror, but it's a fucking fun watch, and it sort of has the same premise. It's also been recently parodied in a Sabrina Carpenter music video with Jenna Ortega. I'm sure you've probably seen it. It's a good music video, but that is sort of Death Becomes Her. It's quite fucking funny. So highly recommend that one if you like this one. As always, thanks for watching. Next week, I'm going to do like a full Spooky Nights Halloween streaming guide, so you can get all the movies you should be, if you're looking for movies to watch around spooky season, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be putting together a streaming guide for you, so you can celebrate spooky season, emo Christmas, Samhain, whatever the fuck you call it. It's my favorite time of the year. So hopefully that Halloween guide will be good for you. I'm going to personalize some pics. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully I'll see you there for next week for that. Peace.